So today I am going to show you how you can hack the Keurig K-Cup black teas and just brew a regular cup of coffee if you don't have a Keurig machine around. So in our instance, the kitchen was locked due to COVID-19 and we couldn't access the Keurig machine, so the K-Cup has become pretty much useless at this point. I don't know about the coffee, but for teas, it's actually really easy to just hack this cup and brew a regular cup of tea. And it's probably going to taste actually better than the tea brewed from the Keurig machine, because with this method, the tea can be infused in the water for much longer before you start drinking and enjoying the tea. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Very simple. All you need is 2 cups, preferably similar size, but I don't have any similar size cups, so 1 cup is bigger, 1 cup is smaller, which is fine. And of course your K-Cup, and this is actually the Bigelow brand Earl Grey black tea. They taste pretty good. It's infused with orange peel, I think the lemon, something like that. It's very citry, and it just tastes great. So optionally, you can have some half and half to enhance your tea taste. If you put half and half in the tea, it actually tastes like the bubble tea that you get from the bubble tea shops, sans the sugar. Okay, so it's really healthy. Anyway, let's get started. So you also need a pair of scissors. So the first thing first is we actually gonna just open the top of the tea. Obviously, I'm doing this with one hand, so excuse me. So when you open the top, you'll see there is actually an infused filter, like a filtration in there. So basically, when you put this in the Keurig machine, it punches a hole on the bottom, and then it pushes the water from the top to go through the bottom. And that's how it works, at least I think. Anyway, it smells really good. So all I have to do at this point is actually just pour everything into one of the cup. So this is basically just grinded up tea leaves and, you know, the herbs that they use. So now you have this empty cup, and we're gonna actually use this cup to hack it. Okay, so next I'm gonna clean up the top of the surface a little bit so it's easier to pour the water in a little bit. So what I did off the camera is I basically just cleaned the top surface a little bit, removed the foil completely, and then I used my scissor. Since I can't do it with one hand, I just, you know, cut the top part off slowly, exposing the bottom of the filter, you know. So that way, when you actually brew the tea, you know, have the tea sit there for a little bit. Once it's nicely brewed, you're gonna use this cup as a filter to filter the tea into the, you know, smaller cup or into the other cup, whatever you have. And then that's, you know, that's the cup of properly brewed, you know, black tea. So again, I'm just gonna cut the remaining part off. And really, it doesn't have to be super precise, but if you want to make it nice and clean, you can do that as well. As you can see, I poured about, I think, 10 to 12 ounces of hot water into my big cup. And if you want more of a stronger taste, you can use probably 8 ounces, and it's gonna brew a very strong tasting tea. And if you want a slightly, you know, a lighter tasting black tea, pour 10 to 12 ounces, and it's gonna last you for a little bit. So I'm gonna let it sit for about 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes, we're gonna come back and do the filtration and then enjoy our cup of Keurig Bigelow, what's this, Earl Grey tea. Okay, so we'll be back in a few minutes. So about 3 minutes has passed, and as you can see, most of the tea actually has sunken to the bottom. And so next step, I am gonna go to the sink, and I'm gonna pour this tea over the filter into the cup. It's gonna be really hard to do with two hands, so I am gonna try my best, or at least figure out a way to show you guys how I do it over the sink. But we'll be back. So I have improvised and made a little filter holder so I can show you guys how to do it with the camera, with one hand holding the camera. Basically, I used coffee stirrer and just made a structure. And next step, the coffee has been sitting for about 5 minutes now. The aroma is really strong, it smells really good. All we have to do is basically just find a way to pour the coffee through the filter, and slowly it's gonna sip to the bottom. Okay, so I always do it kind of in batches, because obviously it's hard to pour with a big cup and it leaks. So you're gonna lose some tea for sure. But if you have a nice measuring, or like those measuring cup with a little tip, it will be easier to pour this tea. Okay, as you can see, the filter already catched a lot of stuff in there, and I still have a little bit to go. So just gonna pour the remaining everything in there. And it's getting full, as you can see. So all I'm doing is just trying to not get those stuff in, my teacup. And now it's probably ready. So dump the rest. I'm gonna wash it in a little bit. Take a look at the tea that we just made. Look at that. It's a nice cup of strong tea, and if you use the K-cup, if you use an espresso machine, it's not going to be as strong as this, because the water comes in and it shoots out right away. If you let the tea sit, it gives a much more intense flavor. Okay, so that's one way to hack your K-cup teas. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Otherwise, hope you found this video helpful, and enjoy your next cup of hacked K-cup tea. Thanks and take care.